Hi, this is Josh with Retro TV One Tech, and today I'm really excited because I'm going to be adding a Sound Blaster and a Gravis Gamepad to my Tandy 1000 TL2 computer. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those things if you enjoy these types of retro videos. And this one I've wanted to do for a long time because the Tandy 1000 TL2 does have its own proprietary 3-voice sound chip, which sounds great on a lot of games, but some games either don't utilize it, so you're stuck with the PC speaker, or some games sound a lot better with the Sound Blaster, which also incorporates ad-lib, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. But also the Gravis Gamepad is really special because it's actually a new old stock gamepad, which means it's never been used, it's been sealed in its package, and I'm super excited to be able to be the first person to use a Gravis Gamepad from like 1994 or something today here in 2023. All right, so we're ready to put these in here. Here's a little closer look at it again. And you can see there's a couple sockets for extra chips if you want to add extra chips later. I believe some people add like Game Blaster to it, which was like the precursor to the Sound Blaster. And you can see the I/O out here on the other side. You've got line in, line out, microphone, a game port, and a volume control. So I am ready to put this in here. Of course, it is an 8-bit card, which means that it's just got the one connector on there and it's not separated in the middle. A 16-bit card would have an extra connector down here and a little space in the middle. So that's how you can tell it's an 8-bit connector, and this is only an 8-bit ISA bus on this computer, even though technically the 286 processor in here is 16-bit. This only has an 8-bit ISA bus, which made the Tandy a little bit unique in that way. And you can see the Gravis Gamepad here, the first really major joystick to actually function more like a Nintendo or other type of even a Sega, like a gamepad, as opposed to a joystick, which with the giant handle on it that everybody had been used to in the past. Now luckily this card is about as close to plug and play as you can get in the early 90s. It looks like this one, looking at the card itself, had a manufacture date of 1992, but I believe they came out earlier than that. Now I've mentioned this before, but it's really important to be careful when you're taking a case off of these Tandy 1000 computers, that you don't knock off any buttons or anything from the front. So you kind of pull back from the back of the computer and then you slide it forward ever so gently. Looks like we got it. And once it's clear of the front panel, you can just slide it right off. And you can see I didn't damage my power button, which sticks out a lot, or my volume knob. And you see a lot of these with broken volume knobs on them because people weren't careful. All right, so here we are inside this beautiful machine. It still looks really nice inside. I have cleaned it up a little bit, but you can see it's got the original hard drive still, the 2 floppy disk drives, power supply in the back, of course the motherboard down there. There's a little daughter board that connects to the sound up here. And the only 2 cards in here are the compact flash adapter, which I installed in the last video on this machine, working great still, and the modem. I don't use the modem, but it's still in there. I'm just going to leave it in there for nostalgic purposes. And I'll probably go ahead and put the Sound Blaster in the bottom, just so that there's a little space between these 2 cards. It's nice to keep a little space if you can. I don't think it matters as far as interference. If I hear any interference, I can always move the cards around. But for now, I'm just going to put it in that bottom slot. And believe it or not, I do have one more card that may eventually go in this computer. I've actually got an Ethernet card that I'd like to put in eventually, so we can get this thing connected maybe to an FTP network just for fun, maybe even get on some text-based websites or Telnet or something like that. So we've got some options we can do with that, thanks to some new programs and things that people have been working on. But for now, we're going to put on the Sound Blaster and play around with that, see how it works. So again, here's the Sound Blaster. Really nice looking piece of hardware, beautiful green PCB here. And you can see again that it's a CT1350B. That's the model number, and the Sound Blaster 2.0. So I love this little volume knob here. We're going to get this installed in here. I don't know that this slot's ever been used before, so that should be probably as tight. That's why I'm getting it lined up just perfectly to make sure that I don't damage anything. Okay, I don't think that's in all the way. Let's go back up. Try it one more time. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Okay, I think I finally got it in there. It was very, very tight, but I just worked at it and worked at it until I finally got it. So I think we are good. I'm gonna fire it up and test it out here real quick as it's open, just to make sure there's no issues with the card. We should be all set once we get that ready to go here. It does seem like it's down. It just didn't give that satisfying little click that I'm used to. So hopefully it's completely seated. If not, I can take it out and reseat it. All right, we got everything set up here. I went and plugged in the keyboard, the computer, and the monitor, and let's just see if we can get some sound out of here. I even got some headphones over here just to test it out before I bring it back to its home on the desk and plug it into some speakers. Need to fix that little cover on the bottom there. All right, memory test looks good. There's the compact flash. It is still good. Loading deskmate. All right, looks like a good boot. So that's good. All right, so you don't really have to do a whole lot to get a Sound Blaster to work in general. Usually the set blaster command will work. Set blaster equals A220 I7 D1. Let's see if that works on this older version of DOS. Okay, it seems to have worked. All right, well, I put some programs on the compact flash card to test it out. If it's really just that simple, I'm going to be pretty impressed. All right, the first thing I'm going to try is this Ad-Lib jukebox because it should work on a Sound Blaster. Because this has the same chip as an Ad-Lib card in it, it should work on this. I have my headphones connected, and I'll put one of the headphones up to the microphone so you can hear it if it works. I may have to adjust the volume too. I have no idea where that is. So here we go. It's loading. That's good. Okay. Seems to be working. Okay. Let me get my hand on the volume control back here. This is exciting. Oh, I think it was all the way. Okay, I think it was all the way down. I'm just going to put it in the middle here and see if we can hear it. I'm going to be super excited. Let's just see if I can get... I don't have a mouse in here. Hopefully I can just push number 1 and it'll work. Oh my gosh, it works! Can you guys hear that? That's awesome! That was so easy. Wow, I'm so excited that worked, and it worked so easily. I really wasn't sure that card was seated down in there, but it's working so well. And again, that's just me basically putting the headphones right up to the, to the microphone on the phone. All right, so again, I'm so excited that that works. And the cool thing is, too, if I try a game that still uses the Tandy sound, the Tandy sound should still work. So let's just try Planet X3 here. It has, PX3 VGA. It has Tandy sound, you can see there. And I'm not going to try the Ad-Lib Sound Blaster sound, but let's try the Tandy sound and see if it still works. And I should have the best of both worlds if both of these devices work. Yep. And that's coming out of this speaker right here. So that's pretty cool. So that's working really, really well. I'll do a whole review on this game at some point soon. This is a really great game. Sounds great on this system too. Alright, so I'm going to get the computer hooked back up on the desk so I can plug in some real speakers to it so I can compare the Tandy sound and the Ad-Lib Sound Blaster sound. So here's one last look at the card installed in the computer there. Looking great and sounding great too. Can't wait to get hooked up to some bigger speakers to really show you how it truly sounds. It is the longest card on the board. You can see it actually goes all the way basically to the end of the motherboard there. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so let's move this over to the desk. Let's try something. Well, that was easy. Got everything set up. Too bad it's not always like that. Just snap your fingers and it's ready to go. Let's fire it up. I've got it hooked up to the speakers and everything. By the way, we're going to be using these Bose speakers right here connected to my main modern computer. So they should sound pretty good. Sorry about the glare in the background. I usually film my videos at night, but it's daytime now. So we got the window behind a little bright. Not the most ideal thing for shooting videos, but it works. All right, we'll get out of DeskMate here and go back into the D drive. I'm hearing a little bit of interference there, but not bad. All right, so I'll probably have to adjust the volume, but let's turn on highways now with the speakers on. Yeah, that sounds really good. I just love that old chiptune synthesizer sound. Here, I'll play the other ones here real quick while we're listening. Here's Elect Rock. Got some bass now. Considering most people only had a PC speaker back in the day, this was considered really impressive. Let's try Gargoyles. By the way, you can tell this is in CGA. You've got that CGA magenta color palette there. It's very T-Mobile. Ooh, chromatic scale. It's like out of tune on purpose. Let's try Spy's Eye. You can't see me, but I'm jamming out over here. Sounds amazing. All right, let's hear Bach real quick. Still kind of cool to hear it do Baroque, even though you can tell it's synthesized. Again, I love these old synthesizer chips. Let's hear Vivaldi. Everybody knows that one, and then Oh and the Saints, of course, everybody knows. Good bass. Ooh, that's like epic. And they shipped this program with every ad-lib sound card that came out. And of course, again, it works on Sound Blaster because it's the same sound chip. But this gave people that bought the ad-lib card a sense of what their card could actually do. And we actually had an ad-lib card too, so I remember this program. All right, we're going to get out of that right now. Really, really cool. And by the way, you might have noticed that I didn't do the Set Blaster command that I did earlier, because I forgot. The Set Blaster command is just for the digital sounds, the Sound Blaster sound effects, not for the FM synthesis, which is handled by that Yamaha YM3812 chip. All right, so let's see, let me do the Set Blaster just so we have the sound effects just in case we need it on some of these games here that we're going to try. Then we're going to go I7 for IRQ7, D1 for DMA1. That's the most common settings for this. So we were doing Planet X3 earlier. Let's do Planet X3 in Tandy mode first with the Tandy 3-voice sound chip, and then we'll do the ad-lib Sound Blaster sound. So here we go. I can pick it here. All I have to do is pick number 2 for Tandy PC Junior sound, and this is still the sound that's coming out of the little speaker inside the computer. It's not bad. To be fair, I could plug this into the Bose speakers too to get a fair comparison, but it'd be mono. Now this is probably one of the better Tandy 3 voice sound games because they've programmed each voice. There's only 3 voices, but they programmed each voice to handle more sound effects basically than what it would normally be able to do. So each voice is doing more than one instrument basically. They might also be using the noise voice. There's actually more than 3 voices on the chip. But let's start game and see what that sounds like. Alright, now let's try it with the ad-lib. You can immediately hear a huge difference. Of course, the speakers are better, but still, sound effects are better too. I'll be honest, there are certain aspects of the Tandy 3 voice that I like better on some of the instruments, but still, the drums are way more mature sounding. Start the game here. And I'll do a little back-to-back comparison for you here in a second. Now here's another really big reason, and we're doing some of the 8-Bit Guys games here because they're really amazing. But here is a huge difference on Petsky Robots, the newest game that David Murray 8-Bit Guy has made. So if I load this one up, I actually, of course, I've got the choice of the Tandy high-res mode, but I've only got ad-lib or PC speaker. So here's what PC speaker sounds like. It's only one voice at a time. It's not bad, but it's still not the ad-lib. So here's the PC speaker, and this is where I really wanted this sound card because it's such an improvement over the PC speaker. So I'm going to do sound from PC speaker and music from PC speaker. So you can tell it's trying to do a lot on that one voice. It's very, bleepy bloopy, which is cool for old video games, but sometimes you want something a little more. Here's what the game sounds like. Alright, now let's try it with the ad-lib sound. So we're going to do the same Tandy high-res graphics, do ad-lib, ad-lib. Now listen to the difference. Had a little problem there. I think I forgot to adjust the memory. So let me do adjust memory. There we go. Let's see if that works. The ad-lib soundtrack takes a little more memory away from the game, so that's one thing you have to do, is you have to give it a little more video memory so that it actually works with both. So this should do it. I'm giving it 48K of video memory, so hopefully we'll see if this works now. Fingers crossed. Nope. Didn't do it. I wonder... Let's try one of the lower res graphics mode here real quick. Let's just do the Tandy. You'll be able to see here, by the way, the graphics in the Tandy 1600 by 200 mode are not nearly as good, but it should free up enough memory for us to use the ad-lib, so and I can mess around with that later. Let's try that. Obviously the graphics aren't nearly as good. Here. Listen to that difference in sound. You're gonna hear a huge difference. Let's hear back and forth a little bit. So that's the PC speaker. And the ad-lib. Such a huge difference there. And here's in the game. PC speaker. Here's in the game with the ad-lib. Huge difference. Alright, now for another huge difference, we're going to try Space Quest 3 first with the Tandy 3 voice sound, and then we will be able to do it with the ad-lib. So here we go. You can get a good example of how that sounds. So now let's try it with the ad-lib Sound Blaster sound. Such a huge difference. And one more. Let's try Test Drive 3. I think the Tandy sound is a little softer now. Maybe there's not quite enough power in the system to power that speaker, so I probably should plug it into the headphone jack, but you can hear the point here. So this is with Tandy sound. So that really doesn't sound too bad, actually. Let's hear it on the ad-lib Sound Blaster sound. really, really good. That Yamaha synthesizer is so clean. Alright, the next step is to install the Gravis Gamepad joystick. Can't wait to check that out. Let's go ahead and get it out of the bag first. Alright, here it is, a brand new in the bag Gravis PC Gamepad. Super awesome. It was actually taped up and everything. It's got the original wire tie on it there. There it is. Look how clean it is. There went the little joystick. I'll get that here in a second. Glad to have that though. See the back of it. You can see how clean it is. Really nice. I forgot what that switch does. I'll have to look in the manual. There's a switch on each side. That's for turbo or something. There you can see the 15-pin PC game port connector there. This was what fell out of the bag, this little guy here. And so you can see it just goes, if you really want to use that, but honestly to me that kind of defeats the purpose of a having a gamepad, but you can get it twisted in there just like that, and then you can use it more like an old school joystick, but really much prefer just using it as a D-pad. And I remember getting one of these as a kid because it was so great to have your PC games feel more like your Nintendo games, and this was around the time the Super Nintendo controller had come out, so other than having no shoulder buttons up there, no start and select, it still has a very similar feel. And let's take a look at what comes in the package here. Here's the user's guide. These were bundled with new PCs, I believe, sometimes, so that's probably where this one came from. You can see it came with a driver disc here. I don't even know that we'll really need that too much, but we'll check it out here in just a bit if we need to. But I think we can just plug it in and use it. You say just type install. That should do it. Actually, though, I'm just realizing that's a high-density disk, so I'm going to have to copy that. That will not work on this computer. It has a 720K floppy, so I would have to put that on a different form of media, maybe a 720K floppy to read on this Tandy computer. Oh, look. 58% savings to Computer Gaming World. I don't think that exists anymore. Not sure. Boulder, Colorado. And here's the user's guide to everything, the game program and all that stuff. I'm not going to go through all that too much in detail, but it does show you what all the buttons and things do. Oh, it's a control switch. Oh, okay. I see. I think you can switch it one way or the other. Upside down or right side up, I'm not sure. Interesting. You can definitely tell that this hasn't been used because the wire is so neatly wrapped together. The twisty tie is definitely originally on there, so it's pretty cool. Very clean. So theoretically all I really need to do is just plug it into this 15-pin game port right here on the back of the Sound Blaster card. The Tandy has its own joystick ports right next to the keyboard port on the far side there, so I'll have to disable those to make this joystick port work. Basically, games are looking for the joystick at a certain memory address. That's why the Sound Blaster and AdLib card works so easily, is that it was so standard back in the time that games would look for it at a certain address and they'd just find it and it would just work. There aren't a lot of drivers necessary. So this should work the same way, so let's get that plugged in. Alright, we're actually going to run this tljoyfix.com program, and that should turn off the internal joystick port on the computer. We'll see if that works. Okay, so Tandy joystick interface is disabled. That's good. So now we're going to try this on Commander Keen because I know it works with the Gravis Gamepad. I need to adjust the memory here real quick, and we should be able to get it to work. We'll see. Fingers crossed. It does show a joystick, so we might have it. We'll see. See if it's really that easy. Love how this looks on this system. Alright, we're going to go into configuration here. First of all, we should be able to get Sound Blaster to work. Oh, that just automatically did it. Wow, that's kind of cool. AdLib Sound Blaster. I can go to Tandy if I want, but let's go ahead and go to Use Joystick 1. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if this will work. If I push up and to the left, it should push up and left and press button 1. Wow, it actually worked. Oh my goodness. It just worked. That's incredible. Wow. Okay, now I have to go to use Gravis Gamepad. Alright, so here we go. So it says, make sure that the button switch is set for 4 buttons. We're going to go red, blue. Okay, it must not be. Let me try it. Switch the switch up here. Blue. Nope. Blue's still not working. Let me try the bottom switch. Probably should have read the book a little better. Blue. There we go. Yellow. Green. That's it. Oh my goodness, it works. I know, sorry, that's a little dark on there, but that's it. So I just pushed all the buttons in order. That should work. Okay, so now let's back out of here and let's see if it actually works in the game. We'll just start in a new game this time. Easy, of course. Oh wow, the Sound Blaster works too. That is amazing. He's moving out of control for some reason, so we need to fix that, I guess. But let's check that real quick. You know what? I may have the wrong switch switched. Let me see. Let's go back to configure, and we're going to go back to oops. There we go. I just had to recalibrate it after I changed the switches. I had these switches on top wrong. Alright, so I'm going to have the joystick up here so you can see that it's working really, really well. Awesome. Oh, insufficient memory. We had a little memory problem last time. Let's see if we can get this working now. I add a little extra memory in there to see if it would work this time. It looks like it might not. Insufficient memory for background music. Okay, so it's still working. So I think the Tandy sound is the one that is the only thing that will work in this mode. That's fine with the joystick. I need to get my extra RAM installed. If I get used to the controls, this should be way easier. So here, I'll hold this up so you can actually see that I'm using the joypad. It's working really, really well. So much easier to play this with the joystick. Oops. Gotta figure out what the buttons are, but you get the point. So yeah, it's just a matter of not having enough music. This was designed for a system with a little bit more memory. It's pretty cool. So I think, let's try it with the Tandy music real quick. Music, Tandy. Until the speaker's a lot smaller, but it should actually be able to load the level now with the music. Oh, interesting. I've got the sound come out of one and the music come out of the other. That's interesting. I'm just shocked at how well this joystick works. Wow. Everything works that I did today. It's kind of surprising. So fun. Hello, giant smiley face guy. You can like ride on him if you want. Oh, but then that guy gets you. Alright, we're going to try this on Test Drive 3 and see how that works. Sound is so good. I had to turn it down a little bit though. Alright, so by the way, just to tell you what these buttons do a little bit better, this one is actually left or right-handed control. You can actually play it this way if you want left-handed control basically. And then this switch on the bottom is 2 buttons or 4 buttons. So that's what all that does. Alright, so I should be able to type in Alt-J to control, to calibrate the joystick. Oh, it's Control-J. Okay, so we're going to move the joystick all around, and then it figures out kind of where the boundaries are, and then you press the button. There we go. Alright. And then we drive, but not very fast. So you just push the up on the D-pad here. You really don't need the button that much on this one, but it does work. They can drive off the road and all over the place. And I was doing this on my laptop the other night, and it's actually too fast for this game. So I need to find the right system for this game. Sorry, the music's a little loud, but you get the point. Oh well, it is usable. Pretty cool. Alright, we're going to try it on one more game here in just a second. It does work though. There we go. I'm on the wrong side of the road, but that's fine. You can hear it screeching the tires. We're going to hit the tree. We sure are. Alright, so we're going to try this joystick on Petsky Robots. I'm going to do it with the lower res graphics for now so I can have the good sound. And I'll just get some more memory to make the rest of it work. But I should be able to select controls. Yeah, so it's already got the joystick identified. Gamepad. Okay, so we're on Gamepad now. And we're going to start the game. So now, this just works. That's so cool. I forgot to get the gun. We can use the blue button up there to search. Search and find the key card there. And really quick, just for comparison, we're going to play this on the high-res mode with the PC speaker sound. I'm going to turn that down a little bit, but the gamepad should work just the same way. You're just going to get a lot better view of things. You can actually do it with no sound too, but it just looks so much better with these graphics on it. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. So I just need to get some more RAM chips for this computer so it has enough RAM to load everything. So overall, I'm really happy with the way this Sound Blaster card and Gravis Gamepad work together. They really do work amazingly well together, and this sounds so good. It's just that old school synthesizer sound that I just came to love as a kid. Really, that's all we had, but also there's something appealing about it, even in the modern age of technology where we can simulate a full symphony orchestra. It's just really nice. Definitely has a charm to it that nothing else really does. So thanks for watching, and next time we definitely will do a little bit more with the Sound Blaster card itself, but at least we know that it works. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I know we didn't get the Sound Blaster digital sound effects or anything working, didn't get the drivers installed, but we'll do that in a separate video so we can look forward to that together. I'm sure all that's working, but we'll get it done and we'll show it on video so you can remember even installing the drivers, because even some of that is nostalgic to look back on, especially if you had to tinker with it to get it to work a little bit. But also, definitely stick around, subscribe, and be ready for our next video, which will probably be a look at the Commodore VIC-20, which was donated to us by our friend Jody. And so we can't wait to dive into that. So definitely stay tuned and be on the lookout for that. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below if you remember using a Gravis Gamepad or a Sound Blaster card of any kind in the 90s or even the early 2000s. The cards were around for a long time, and a lot of people had them. They were pretty ubiquitous around the computer world. So definitely leave a comment. Let me know your favorite memories of those awesome pieces of tech. All right. Well, that's all for now. So for now, enjoy that tech and keep it retro.